I noticed something was wrong when she got all pale, and you could see like the bucket next to her, like there was so much blood being collected, like suctioned out. I was like so worried that something was gonna happen to Ambrosia. So I just wanted to stay there with her because I knew the nurses had Layla. Everyone, we're back with another video. This time it's just me because Amber and baby Layla are sleeping. I've been trying to edit this video, but I haven't figured out how I am going to do it because after the baby was born, it wasn't like update after update after update because I just didn't know what to get or what you guys wanted to see or just anything. So I just randomly picked up the camera and like did random recordings. So I was trying to figure out how to piece them all together. So I figured that I would explain some things to you guys. There's a couple of things that happened after Layla was born, and I wanted to explain to you guys what happened. So Amber had the choice to get a C-section because every time that, if you guys haven't seen the labor video, I'll link it down below. It explains what was going on. They explained the baby's heartbeat was too flat, so if we wanted to wait until Amber just went into birth naturally, we could, but we were worried about the baby's health and what would happen. We didn't want the baby to go under distress, so we decided that it was best for baby and mama to go through a C-section so that way we could get the baby out and we can figure out what's going on. Because before that, she had like a fetal echo or like a checkup where they checked her heart and they said that she has like a heart murmur and she might have complications when she's born, but they're not sure yet. They only know when she's born. So like we were kind of worried because they were saying things about her heart and we were just like, well, we don't want to put anything at risk, so we're like, okay, let's just get the baby out, that way she's healthy and good, and if she did have a murmur, like they'll be like ready to do. We just didn't want it to come to where it was going to be an emergency C-section. We just wanted to be safe. So they went into a C-section. Everything was going good. When Layla came out, she was sunny side up. The nurse was like, oh, you came sunny side up. There was no way. It was going to be way hard for you to come down. And then she also mentioned that the baby had the cord wrapped around her neck. She, like, I think on the video she mentioned that the baby had jewelry.
But you were looking the wrong way to come out, and you had a cord around your neck. You had jewelry. You want some new jewelry.
You got what? I don't know, but she it would have ended up this way.
So that happened. So we were glad that we actually did do a C-section because it would have turned out to be an emergency C-section anyways because, you know, her heart was being too flat because every time she tried to come lower and lower, like it was wrapping more and more tightly around her neck. And because of the fact that she was sunny side up, so her face was upward instead of facing down, there was liquid that she swallowed while she tried to breathe. And so you could see in one of the videos that I recorded where they're trying to put like this syringe thing in there, trying to take everything out. And they got what they could, but they couldn't get it all. And you could hear like gurgling and like grunting, and we just thought, oh, she's just mad, that's why she's making that noise. But they actually took her back to the NICU. They said they weren't going to admit her until they figured out if she was going to do good or not. So after that happened, they were like, she's doing some grunting, she's working extra hard to breathe more normally than another child, so we're going to go ahead and take her back to the NICU, and then we're going to check her and see how she's doing and if she needs to be admitted or not. But for right now, we just want to let her work and make sure she gets that fluid out of her lungs, and that way she can breathe properly. Because when she came out, they were actually making her cry. Like, she came out crying like any other baby. They were making her cry because the crying would help bring like the liquid and the fluids out of her lungs. She only had a little bit, not a lot, so it would help her bring that out and like spit it out with crying. So they were like tickling her back. Babies have like a lot of nerves on their back, so it like frustrates them. They don't like being tickled on their feet, so they're tickling her feet, tickling her back, trying to make her cry, so that way it would help her spit out the fluids. But she still hadn't done it yet, so they wanted to take her to the NICU, keep an eye on her. They said they weren't going to admit her until like they saw progress. I have some clips of her in the NICU. She's like crying, and they have her on her stomach so she can spit the fluids out.
Were you sucking your thumb?
Picture she won, honey.
I saw that. You was sucking your thumb. I caught you.
Said, yep, I've probably been doing it for months.
It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's okay.
52. Yep. A lot better than 198 or 196.
Sure. I did her 10 it's 99 minus whatever.
Yeah, I knew you got her 10.
With the long fingers, just like her mom.
Long fingers, big feet.
Yeah,
She
she has
said
big
she
feet
had
too.
her chin.
She was just so frustrated and felt so bad for her. So Ambrosia told me to go back to the NICU with her because Ambrosia was still needed to get patched up. But it was really scary because when I was with Ambrosia next to her, I noticed her face got all pale. Her lips were like pale, and she said she started feeling like nauseous and like sick, like she was gonna pass out. And I started like worrying, like I had so much anxiety. I wanted her to be okay. I wanted the baby to be okay. After they checked the baby, they said everything was fine. She only had the fluids. I just wanted to be next to Ambrosia to make sure she was okay because I have a fear of like losing a. It's hard. I don't know how to say this, but in 2018, I lost my mom. So like her going into labor was like so scary for me because in the back of my head is like I feel stupid for crying, but in the back of my head I was like, I don't want to lose you. And I've heard like stories of labor not going so well and like mothers like passing away, like especially like in emergency C-sections. So when they told us like, oh, you want to have a C-section, like I instantly like in my head I was like, I don't want to lose Ambrosia. I don't want to lose my baby. So I was like so worried that something was gonna happen to Ambrosia. So I just wanted to stay there with her because I knew the nurses had Layla, but Ambrosia wanted me to be with Layla so that way she'd be okay. But I noticed something was wrong when she got all pale, and you could see like the bucket next to her, like there was so much blood being collected, like suctioned out. The person doing the procedure was like, she didn't seem happy anymore, so I was just like, something's going wrong and they just want me to get out of there so they can get stuff done, which I did. I went to be with Layla because I wanted her to be okay too, but in the back of my head I was like, I hope Ambrosia's okay because I know they're not gonna say anything while they're working on her. So I was let me get myself together. It's just when you lose somebody, it's like it's not out of this world. You don't think like, oh, this is not gonna happen to me, this can't happen to me, I can't lose somebody. Like for me it's more of a possibility. Like I'm scared to lose anybody that's close to me because I lost the person that was the most closest to me a year ago, which was my mom. But right when she went into C-section, I was like, I don't want to lose my wife. I love her so much. I can't live without her. So it was really hard. So like that's why I said on the video, like we cried it out because I was so scared and she was so scared too. But we're glad that everything worked out. So I was in the NICU with Layla, and they put like little heating pads on her feet and like try to warm her up. And they said she was working a little hard on breathing because you could see like she was breathing faster and stuff because she was trying to get the stuff out of her lungs. But she was progressing. Her breathing was normal, and they just wanted her to stay between like her heart rate and stuff of like 60, like something like that, somewhere around there where it was normal. That took like 2 hours. Like she was born at 1:13, and by the time we went back to where Ambrosia was, it was like 3, almost 4. So when we got back, that's when Ambrosia had said like, oh, she really didn't wait that much. So I guess that Ambrosia, after they took Layla out, she was actually being worked on in the OR room or whatever they're called for an hour because they had cut an artery or something around there, so she was bleeding out and she bled out so much. Luckily, they got it to stop and she was okay. She lost a lot of blood, so she ended up having to have 2 blood transfusions that night of or the next morning. I'm like really grateful that she's okay and everything turned out well. I don't know, I just felt in my heart that something was wrong when I left, so I was like super scared. Layla ended up getting better. Ambrosia ended up getting out of the surgery place an hour and a half or 2 hours after, so we all met together, and Ambrosia got to breastfeed Layla for the first time. That was like the first time we actually all got to be together, because I didn't want to mess with Layla too much because she was like working on getting like the fluids out and stuff. So we were all together there, and she got to breastfeed her, and she like had trouble latching like any other baby, but I'm glad she got the chance to have skin to skin after 2 hours after having her. Like, I'm grateful we even had that chance. So we had like an hour or so to ourselves with our baby, and it was really nice. And she latched and breastfed, and I helped Ambrosia out because like you had to hold the boob a certain way, but she had all these IVs and stuff from like where she was gonna get like her blood transfusion and stuff like that, and she was getting liquids, so she couldn't really move her hand the way she wanted. So I was there to help her like position, make sure the baby latched, and she got fed. And then after that, that's when my family came in and met her.
You and your beautiful smile. Look at her. She's so beautiful. Look at her little nose and her little cheeks.
Does she look like Amber?
Oh my gosh, isn't she beautiful? No,
She doesn't like the light.
yeah.
She likes it where it's dark.
Oh no.
She's
So cute. I know. Hi, gorgeous.
She looks like Amber. She got the little chin, look.
She's got the
With the
little
dimple?
nose, and she's got her big cheeks. Oh.
They're talking about you again. We already hashed all over those points, didn't we?
She's gorgeous. Oh. She's so beautiful. How much did she?
I like Paula's reaction the best.
They met her for like 5 minutes, and then Layla was rushed back to the NICU so they could keep track of her, making sure that she did well throughout the night. So Layla ended up doing really good throughout the night. Ambrosia got her blood transfusion, and she was still really weak from the C-section and from losing so much blood. So I tried to be there for her. That's why I didn't really record much afterwards, but Layla made it through the night. She passed her NICU tests. She really didn't get admitted because she was just getting checked up. Like, she didn't need to be there for longer than just that night to just be checked up on. That's how that went. They brought her back the next day, and we got to spend the whole night with her. I'm sorry that I cried a little bit. It was really, really hard for me, and I'm sure it was really hard for Ambrosia too, but I'm just telling you guys my side of the story since she's sleeping. But I'm just an emotional person. I'm sorry. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys like it, make sure you guys like this video. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Hey everybody! I'm just here chilling with my brand new spanking baby. And she doesn't let me put her down.